city of Mosul is now within reach of Iraq's elite counter-terrorism units, following the recent advances made on the eastern front of Bartella. The Assyrian Christian town was liberated last week, and the Iraqi forces have seized more ground from Daesh in Bazawiya and other areas in the Bartella district close to Mosul.
We have reached Khokhjeli and we aim to recapture it over the next few days. This will give us many options in the next battle. Everything is going great, and most importantly, Daesh's defense are crumbling. They have lost the spirit to resist.
While Daesh's morale is waning and its defenses are crumbling, the Iraqi forces are showing confidence and high spirits as they continue their push towards Mosul.
Since we began the Mosul operation, we have taken one town after the other with little resistance. Like they have done before, Daesh burned tires and used car bombs to slow us down, but they failed.
Daesh fighters are cowards. They use booby traps, suicide bombers and snipers. They couldn't withstand the assault of the counter-terrorism unit, even though they have heavy weaponry. We are now only 5 kilometers away from Mosul.
On the other fronts, the Kurdish Peshmerga captured 7 villages in the Bashika district, while the Iraqi army and federal police gained control of 2 towns south of Mosul. Major operations are expected to kick off on the Western Front within days. Following the victories of the last days by the Iraqi forces against Daesh terrorists, it appears that the first phase of the operation to liberate Mosul is waning down. Now preparations are underway for the next stage of the battle to eradicate the Takfiri terrorist from the last remaining stronghold in Iraq. Ali Musawi, Press TV, Bartella, east of Mosul.
Starts right now with breaking news.
Exclusive new video showing a young couple speeding to their deaths. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jameson Euler.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thanks for joining us. First tonight, this new video offering clues about what happened in the final seconds before that horrific crash just last night.
Let's go straight to Michael Paluska, who's been going over these new images tonight. Michael.
Jameson, Wendy, 3 people right now are still at Tampa General Hospital fighting for their lives, and then this video is released showing through a Snapchat app calculating this speed that the driver moments before the crash going at more than 115 miles per hour. A wide open road, the VW Golf accelerating. The Snap posted at 9:38 p.m. 9 minutes later, the driver in the Snap, Pablo Cortez III, and his girlfriend, Jolie Bartolome, videoing would be dead.
They were going so fast.
Efren Rodriguez says no one on the road had time to react.
All I seen was a blue flash. It just burst into flames.
We showed Rodriguez the video posted on social media. He was shocked.
It could have been avoided. It was a hard scene to watch. I got about like 10 feet close to it and I couldn't deal no more, so I turned my head and walked away.
A mother and her 2 children hit head-on in the minivan, died. Another family friend still fighting for her life. Rodriguez still can't believe he is alive.
It was going so fast that it hopped the median and flew over my car and hit the car behind me, directly behind me. Like, I escaped. Like, it's just traumatic. I feel bad for those families, you know, but man, I got another chance, you know, to be here, because I'm not kidding, like a second and I wouldn't be here talking to you guys.
And family members of the 3 survivors here at Tampa General told us tonight they believe that this was caused by street racing. However, Florida Highway Patrol tell us that at this point there is no evidence that there was any street racing involved. We also talked to that witness tonight. He says what he saw was that car barreling down the road at that high rate of speed all by itself before it jumped the median. He says he didn't witness any street racing either. We're live here at Tampa General tonight. Michael Paluska, ABC.
The Iraqi army says it's recaptured nearly 90 towns and villages from Daesh since the offensive to retake its last stronghold began last week. Well, according to a US general, more than 800 Daesh militants have been killed in the operation so far. Soldiers have also found bomb-making facilities and tunnels. Well, let's go now live to Andrew Hopkins, who is in Erbil in northern Iraq with the latest on this. Andrew, can you just give us then the latest on the operation and also explain to us how we can tell how much progress is actually being made in this operation and campaign?
Yeah, Paul, we're now 12 days into this particular offensive. Many officials saying it's going to last 2 to 3 months, and Iraqi troops to the north of Mosul, they're saying they're just a few kilometers away from the city. And to the south there, they're still 30 kilometers away. They say, as you mentioned, they've managed to capture 87 areas that were held by Daesh around the city. But really, at the moment, we're dependent on what the Iraqi military and also statements coming out of the United States, sort of coalition forces, if you like, as to what's really going on here. But one interesting bit of information you mentioned there, which we could look at, which is the US statement that 800 fighters from Daesh have been killed in this operation so far. And you might remember that at the start of the offensive, it was said that there are about 5,000 Daesh fighters in Mosul itself and up to 2,500 in the surrounding countryside. Now, if you put those two figures together, you've got 7,500. Now, it appears that what the United States is saying at the moment is that they have actually killed more than 10% of the Daesh fighting force.
Can you just give us an idea then, Andrew, of kind of the resistance that Daesh are putting up, not in terms of how resilient they are, but also the tactics that they're using?
Yeah, Paul, you mentioned just a short while ago the booby traps, but the Iraqi military has been given a few more details about what Daesh has been up to. It says it's had to destroy 127 car bombs in this operation so far. It also says it's trying to reach a town called Hammam al-Alil, which is south of Mosul. This is an area where there have been reports that Daesh have killed a number of former army officers and police officers. And this is really as a deterrent to try to stop some of the other locals from joining in, supporting the US and Iraqi offensive that's going on here. And of course we know about one of the other tactics that Daesh has been using already, which is counterattacks, where they've been launching assaults on other towns and cities in this region to try and divert resources from the main operation there in Mosul. One of those cities is Kirkuk, where there are quite a number of different ethnicities, different religions there. And the people in the city, they're quite worried that a Daesh attack could happen at any time. And not only that, that they're not going to get adequate protection from the central government in Baghdad.
ISIS, of course, is still in control of Iraq's second largest city, Mosul, but Iraqi and Kurdish forces are closing in. U.S. warplanes and special forces are in the fight, and Holly Williams is there.
Thousands of civilians are escaping from ISIS as the extremists retreat from their villages. This offensive has killed hundreds of ISIS fighters, according to the US coalition, with over 300 square miles clawed back by Iraqi and Kurdish forces to the east and south. But they still haven't entered Mosul itself. At the American base south of Mosul, Major Chris Parker told us protecting the city's 1 million civilians will make the fight more difficult.
Airstrikes do become more complicated when you move into a major metropolitan area. And the fighting will be more complicated. This is a tough fight. They've been dug into Mosul for 2 years now and had time to prepare.
There are 50,000 Iraqi ground forces, compared to the 5,000 ISIS fighters thought to be in Mosul. But the extremists have one terrifying weapon: the suicide car bomb, a vehicle laden with explosives. ISIS has used dozens of them in this battle, and we've witnessed the panic they cause on the front line.
They want to die. I guess the only, real comparison is kamikaze pilots in the Second World War.
When you're dealing with that mentality, it's a very dangerous enemy. There's no doubt about that.
This is the biggest military challenge that Iraq has faced since the US invasion of 2003. 2 years ago, Scott, when ISIS first blitzed across northern Iraq, some soldiers here ran away.
Holly Williams on the battlefield for us tonight. Holly, thank you.
Police arrested protesters near the Dakota Access Pipeline construction in North Dakota. The National Guard stepped in to back up local police. Over 100 people were arrested at the end of October. That's the most arrests at one time during the campouts. And there's been violence, like police brutality. Guards used dogs to attack protesters, and police reportedly shot down this drone as it recorded footage. Demonstrators are protesting and camping out on a main road. blocking it off.
They were also advised that they can't be blocking state highways. They cannot be trespassing.
The water protectors say they won't leave anytime soon. For Newsy, I'm Melissa Prax.